Hey everybody, hope that you're having a great day. We are continuing our look through the book of Mark, and we are in Mark chapter 8. We're going to look at verses 14 through 19. So let's take a quick look. The disciples had forgotten to bring bread. They were crossing the sea in the Sea of Galilee. The disciples had forgotten to bring bread except for one loaf they had with them in the boat. Be careful, Jesus warned them. Watch out for the yeast of the Pharisees and that of Herod. And they discussed and really the word technically should have been leaven. Watch out for the leaven of the Pharisees and that of Herod. And the disciples discussed that, and they were wondering, well, what about the bread? We don't have bread. And aware of their discussion, Jesus asked them, why are you talking about bread? Do you still not see or understand? Are your hearts hardened? Do you have eyes but fail to see and ears but fail to hear? Don't you remember when I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000, how many basketful pieces they had left? And so the point of what Jesus is saying is, and it's really important to see the word leaven versus the word yeast in this passage from Jesus, because the word yeast is just something that we add to the dough to make it rise. But leaven would be, they would use the yeast to help the bread to grow, and then they would keep a piece out and use that for the next week. And what Jesus is talking about is the leaven is the sin that is continuing from the Pharisees and the scribes and those who were the legalists of the day. And so when Jesus says, watch out for the yeast of the Pharisees and that of Herod, what he's really saying is that sin, that not that yeast, but that leaven is going to continue to grow. And the more it grows, the worse it gets. So you just leave a little bit, and a little bit of sin becomes what? Maybe a little bit more sin, and a little bit more sin, and a little bit more sin, and a little bit more. And so Jesus said, no, you've got to cut it off. You've got to watch out for what is going on. And so Jesus really is imploring the disciples to understand that. We see the word leaven used as well in 1 Corinthians, as Paul talks about that as well. So understand that leaven is different from yeast. And I'm looking at an NIV, which is why I kept going back to yeast. But it really, the better translation is the word leaven. And so it's a way for us to look at our lives as well, to see, do we have sin in our lives that's unchecked, that's festering and maybe growing a little bit more each day, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse if we don't nip it with God's help. That's the word of Jesus for the day. Have a great day, and God bless you.